Who would ever want to play a watered down version of Skyrim over the actual? Now that I got your attention, let's talk about it. Oblivion originally released in the year of 2006, but received a remaster last year. Bethesda and Virtuous Studios really did make it beautiful. They call it a remaster, but it feels more like a remake. Granted, most of the core mechanics are the same. The question I'm answering today is, did I enjoy it? I'm Toby, and today we're reviewing the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. My first impressions of the game were pretty good. It was fun to jump right into the action. I was confused at some points, but it was exciting. Normally I'd look up a guide to be a bit more optimal, but this time around, I didn't want any help. It made the experience a lot more fun and felt rewarding. Let's first talk about the glorious character creation. Meet John Breton. He's a Breton named John. He was forged in one of the greatest character creations of all time. You could make almost any monstrosity in this thing. Funny thing with John Breton, his head would clip through the helmets I wore. John here is a paladin, focusing on these skills: blade, block, heavy armor, destruction, restoration, athletics, and mercantile. There's a mercantile. Anyway, these are considered John's 7 major skills out of the 21 he has available. The other 14 are considered minor skills. These skills are acrobatics, alchemy, alteration, armorer, blunt, conjuration, hand-to-hand, illusion, light armor, marksman, mysticism, security, sneak, and speechcraft. Leveling major skills will give you XP towards your total level, while leveling minor skills do not. Not my favorite leveling system, but it's not the worst. I was actually curious to see if staying level 1 was still the optimal way to play, but I didn't want to try, so I ended up leveling normally. On top of all those skills and leveling, you get to pick a birth sign. These give you certain bonuses depending on the one you pick. These include Apprentice, Atronach, Lady, Lord, Lover, Mage, Ritual, Serpent, Shadow, Steed, Thief, Tower, and Warrior. I went with the Lord, which increases my armor rating and gave me additional magic resistance. These birth signs improved dramatically from the original. Before, the Lord would give you a heal spell and give you weakness to fire. Pretty bad. I want to talk about this problem right at the start. If you play the main questline only, you'll probably have about 10 to 12 hours of gameplay. The main questline, compared to other games, is extremely short. I was really disappointed because a good chunk of it is you entering the gates to Oblivion and grabbing the sigil stone at the end to close them. Problem here, once you've closed one Oblivion gate, you've closed them all. They have only slight differences. Now, if you're exploring a bunch, you're gonna sink time into this game. I myself am still playing it after this review to complete some of these factions. More on those later. The main questline is a fun journey to stopping Mehrunes Dagon's invasion. You start off as a lowly prisoner who was selected by the Emperor himself to accompany him. He was having dreams about you. How cute. You work on escaping the Mythic Dawn with him. You suck as a bodyguard and he dies. He gives us the Amulet of Kings for safekeeping. We find Joffrey, who helps us find Martin, who is secretly the next heir to the throne. You also give Joffrey the Amulet of Kings. Near Martin is the first Oblivion Gate, which you shut with ease. After that, you return to Joffrey to find the Blades being attacked. They stole the amulet. Good job, Joffrey. It was taken by a scumbag named Mankar Cameron, who leads the Mythic Dawn. The next set of quests are to get us to where we need to enter Paradise. This involves finding the Mythic Dawn, raiding the tomb of Tiberium Septim, finding a great Welkin stone, and opening a great Oblivion Gate for a great Sigil stone. This will allow Martin to send you to Paradise, where you take back the Amulet of Kings. You return to the Imperial City, where it's too late for the plan to work, but Martin had a different plan and ended up beating Mehrunes Dagon. God, I wish I had footage of that. Sadly, that very last file corrupted. Outside of being short, the story was actually really good. The final fight between Martin as an avatar of Akatosh versus Mehrunes Dagon was cool to watch. Made me feel like a side character to this story, which you really are. There are some problems with some questlines though. The map marker would be in incorrect place sometimes. Even worse, the NPC I'm looking for doesn't seem to be around. I'd be using the wait mechanic for a while until they showed up. It's like they forgot we were trying to save the world. On top of playing through the story, I'd adventure through any dungeons I found along the way. To do this, I refrained from teleporting all the time, which is nice because the graphics are absolutely stunning. The scenery kept the game fresh and alive. The music fit the situations I was in, especially the main theme. Love that song. What didn't help was the constant freezing I had going through various loading screens. Now, I can't blame the game for that. It could just be my PC on the fritz. Sometimes I'd also crash just being out in the open field. The dungeons themselves were really nice. The different enemies, the atmosphere, all well made. There were even enemies that were immune to physical damage. You would either use magic or a magic weapon to damage it. Speaking of that, combat felt so fluid. The attacks had all these nice animations and heavier weapons felt like they had some weight to them. Not to mention durability. Durability is no joke in this game, which I like. Some games have unnecessary durability where the weapon will actually never break. This game has the best durability I've ever ever seen. On top of melee combat, magic was really cool. I wish I found some better spells to play around with. I'll try and find some more in my free time. Casting spells without requiring an open hand was amazing. It made me feel less limited because I wouldn't have to switch out my weapon to heal. I also wish I found a better healing spell. This would have made fighting some fights with the Daedra much easier. Also a spell for curing diseases. I contracted so many diseases just playing the game. One disease turned me into a vampire. That was the first time I had to look up something because vampirism was so annoying. The removal of vampirism is also a pretty tedious task. Unlike Skyrim, being out in the sun actually kills you. That's pretty cool. Now, I wish I could say all the animations were good, but there are some really bad ones. Some of the facial animations were really off-putting. Just look at this. They're just downright creepy. On top of all of that, look at this goofy running animation. It's as if their reference was Crash Bandicoot. Let's talk about another thing that bugged me. The voice acting. Not all of it was bad. Listen to the glorious Patrick Stewart.
You will find your own path. Take care. There will be blood and death before the end.
Now that sounded good. Now listen to the AI Joffrey.
But Sankator became evil long ago. No one has returned from the shrine of Tiber Septim for many lifetimes.
Sounds like a robot reading a script. Let's talk about picking locks. This is hard. This is the hardest lockpicking I've ever done. It's so fun though. I would always save before anything average or above because I was always low on lockpicks. It's far more interactive than a Skyrim lock, that's for sure. One final thing I wanted to touch up on is factions. I'm planning on playing them all, but for the run I mainly did the arena. Here you'll do fights that progressively get harder until you reach the rank of champion. The ranks are Pit Dog, Brawler, Bloodletter, Myrmidon, Warrior, Gladiator, Hero, and finally Champion. I left off at Myrmidon at the time of this review. Outside of the arena, other factions are the Dark Brotherhood, which I got invited to, the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, and the Thieves Guild. There are also some minor factions. Blackwood Company, the Blades, Court of Madness, Knights of the Nine, Knights of the Thorn, the Mythic Dawn technically, Nine Divines, Order of the Dragon, and the Order of the Virtuous Blood. A good chunk of these sound awesome, and I would like to explore them more another time. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I did, but did have some turnoffs. This game, however, has great replayability. I want to run through with a great axe and do some more faction activities. I'd love to explore more of the magic I could find all over. At its $50 price point, you can easily spend hundreds of hours. Whether it be in short bursts or all in one go is up to you. I'd suggest even getting into the roleplay of it. Tailor your character to a specific goal, a dungeon delver, a barbarian, a thief, etc. You can do so many things and just keep going. This is probably one of my shorter reviews and I'd like to make them longer, but I'll have to work something out. This is Toby. I can say we've completed this quest.